Hi, friends, here we are. A Neo-Hasidic reading of Parashat Yetse. Let me say something about Yaakov first. This is the first of two Parshiot where we tell the stories of Yaakov Avinu. He's a very complex character, very problematic character. A friend of mine, my dear friend George Severin, has just written a book about him, about the image of Yaakov in the Torah, and the Midrash is full of attempts to save difficult parts of Yaakov. But we're going to start at the very beginning today. This is Chalom Yaakov. Yaakov, Yetse Yaakov mi Beersheva, vayelech Harana, vayachalom chalom, vayachalom. He dreams, and his dream, of course, is his dedication as a sacred figure. It's like the dedications of all the prophets. Remember, beginning with the story of Moshe, of course, the sneh, the burning bush. But then the dedication vision of Yeshayahu, the dedication vision of Yirmiyahu, the great dedication vision of Yechezkel, each of them, Shmuel Hanavi, when God calls him, there's a moment when the person becomes somehow present to God, or God becomes present to that person. And this is that moment for Yaakov. Even though he's not a prophet, he's an ancestor, he's a father, and the promise of this dream is about, I will give you the land and to your descendants. But it also says in that promise, V'nivrechu v'cha kol mishpechot ha'adama. All the nations of the world will be blessed through you. You are being given the land not just for yourselves, but you are given the land to be a source of blessing to the whole world. It's important to remember that these days. But now I want to go to Yaakov's awakening. This is really an awakening of a person. Yaakov, the figure of Yaakov in the Midrash is seen as a new Adam. He's as beautiful as Adam. No person since Adam has been so beautiful as Yaakov. Sometimes he's seen as a Gilgul, as a reincarnation of Adam. So in that sense, he represents the human being, every person. Kol Adam is there in Yaakov. Vayikatz Yaakov mishnato, Jacob awakens from his dream. We are all called to awaken from our dream. We live in a dream state. We're not paying attention. We're not paying attention to the presence of God in every place in our lives and every moment of our lives. Awareness and response is what being a religious human being in any tradition is all about. Being aware of the presence of divinity and asking, how do I live in response to it? And this is Yaakov's moment, but this is also a moment for every person. So let's read the verse. Vayikatz Yaakov mishnato, vayomer, achen yesh havaya b'makom hazeh, v'anochi lo yadati. He awakened from his dream, Jacob awakened from his dream and said, indeed, Havaya is present in this place, and I was not aware. I often translate da'at as awareness. V'anochi lo yadati. I was not aware. That's true of this place, the dedication of this holy place in Jacob's story. But since he is called Adam, it's also called Makom. As he represents every person, so this place represents every place. The work is to discover Yesh Havaya b'makom hazeh, there is divinity in this place, and I was not aware. Some places are easier than others, I admit. I have the great blessing right now of being amid the fall, the colors in New England. I sat davening Shacharis this morning in front of a huge open window looking at the yellows and the reds and the greens, and it was so easy to say, Achen yesh havaya b'makom hazeh. It's right there. It's being thrust upon you almost. It pours into your soul. But other places too, all places. The point is, even the lowest places. Going back to last week's parsha when it says, "Vayachperu avdei Yitzchak banachal," Yitzchak's servants were digging in the wadi. One of the Mefarshim I saw says, yes, the wadi is the lowest place. You can dig even in the lowest place and find be'er mayim chayim, and find a well of living waters. You can find the presence of Havaya even in the lowest places in your life, not only in the most beautiful. You don't have to climb the Himalayas to find the presence of God in the world. Or if you've climbed the Himalayas, the message of that climb is the same Havaya you found at the top of the Himalayas, you can also find back home in your own life in the days that seem most ordinary, but they're not ordinary if you awaken from your dream. They are ordinary only because we live in a dream state. These days, some of us have discovered a new tool, a psychedelic tool, a set of psychedelic tools to help awaken us to that. Tavolech and bracha, that can be for the good if used well. It awakens us to the possibility that every place is such a place. And then the verse goes on to say, Achen yesh havaya b'makom hazeh v'anochi lo yadati, and I was not aware. Now, there are two ways of reading that I was not aware, both found in the Hasidic sources. One says, I was not aware because of the big I, because of my ego, Anochi. Anochi got in the way, my Anochi got in the way of my being aware. I was so busy with my own needs and my own desires and my own stuff and my own busyness that I didn't take the time, I didn't sit back to say, Achen yesh havaya b'makom hazeh. There is divinity in this place. You have to work at it. You have to work at remaining aware, becoming aware and remaining aware. The Anochi gets in the way. But the other reading is, which I like even better, I think, Va'anochi lo yadati. I wasn't aware of the Anochi. Of the Anochi, Havaya Elohecha asher hotziticha me'eretz Mitzrayim. Of the I am Havaya, your God, who brings you out of the land of Egypt, who redeems you from all those things that bind you, who redeems you from all your enslavements. I am that redeeming power that is always with you. And discovering Havaya is to become free. And then Jacob says, Vayira, or the text says about Jacob, Vayira vayomer ma norah hamakom hazeh. En zekim bet Elohim v'zashar hashemayim. He was in awe, and he said, how awesome is this place. That yira is not pachad, is not fear. It's a sense of tremendous awe, realizing what a great moment this is, what a great place this is. He said, how awesome is this place. It was, in Hebrew, hishtomimut, astonishment, the astonishment of this moment. And that caused him to realize that this is nothing other than the house of God and a gateway to heaven. So it is. This place where you are in this moment, a house of God and a gateway to heaven. All you have to do is open it. Zeh hasha'ar l'Adonai tzadikim yavovo. This is the gateway to Havaya. The tzaddik only has to push that gate open. That's all it takes. That's my message for this week. It's a very, very simple one. You don't need a lot of Kabbalah for it. You don't need a lot of Jewish knowledge for it even. You just need to open your eyes to awaken from the dream and to say, how awesome is this place. God bless. Shabbat Shalom, Shavua Tov. See you next week.